Before any of you guys ask, no, the last two episodes that I'm going to be reviewing doesn't involve me talking about how these episodes should have been or not, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm over that. So the final two episodes are just going to be positive reviews, which is going to be a good thing to culminate this entire month. But anyways, the episode that I'm going to be reviewing will be The Mall, where it centers around the three characters going to the mall together. Well, not really together, but they split up like always. Grizz goes to the arcade so that he can play the Cops arcade game, only to meet Griff, who's doing police work, and he's offered to help. Panta stays in line so that he can get an autograph from a stairwell, along with Tom, who is there at the same time. And Icebell goes skating only to bump into Isaac, who he has a rivalry against. What I actually enjoy most from this episode is where we actually get to see the human counterparts of the Bears again. Tom hanging out with Panda, Griff doing police work with Grizz, and Isaac doing skating with Icebell. Since that we completely see these characters a few times in the past seasons from this show, it's actually really nice to actually see them actually hanging out with the Bears. And I was originally going to be reviewing Bros of the City as part of today's review, but after rewatching this episode, namely because of a celebrity that appears at the end of the episode, which, by the way, isn't really a celebrity, but with a different name and a different character design, this is pretty much a more better episode to review instead of Bros of the City. But with so many changes when it comes to the schedule, this month was obviously a pain, even worse than Equestria Girls month that I did last year, but at least we're nearly at the end, and I can guarantee you that this is pretty much one of my favorite episodes from the 4th season, at least. Anyway, Grizz's plot in this episode is centering around just being a cop next to Griff after playing Cop Punch 2. This is Grizz we're talking about. He desperately wants to play the Cop Punch 2 game in the arcade, and when he came across Griff, he just wants to do some justice by being a cop. Since this is where we actually get to see Griff and Panda doing some justice as police cops, I actually found this bit a lot more enjoyable, since that Grizz is mostly disappointed that he doesn't do a lot of justice, while Griff is just doing his job since he's a human being. If I'm really into doing a certain activity, I will probably jump in. Granted, it's really a shame that what's ended up happening doesn't really affect of what you actually feel, like in Into the Zone, but hey, at least it's a lot more better than Last Action Zero from My Life as a Teenage Robot. At least this episode actually knows how to keep the characters into the game and doesn't make them into, well, for what Last Action Hero did. As for Panda and Tom, just when they're at the end of the line, there were two people that cut in front of the line because of his friend allowing him to. And this leads to Panda making a stand for himself, only for one of the guys to take the art that he created, and it leads to Panda accidentally sipping his beverage onto the man's shirt. And the shirt is a VIP that is only limited and it's really rare, which leads to Panda in complete trouble against the human who is really enraged. Let me tell you that I don't blame Panda for making a stand for himself, since that he actually got in line before it was cut off. Meeting a celebrity is a lot more once you manage to get in the line before it was cut off, and when people just butt in front of you, because of their friend allowing them to save that for them, it's honestly, I don't even know what to actually justify on how to be in this situation, because I will probably still side with Panta to make a stand, and then when someone else messes with something that they completely that you made, then that just goes a little too far. And even though that I understand that the guy that he butted Panda out was another person who wants to meet Estella, but at the same time, it just doesn't excuse on the fact that he just causes a lot more stress towards Panda and Tom. And as for the majority of the episode, it centers around Panda and Tom just running away from the people who cut in line. And this actually leads to Griff and Grizz to step in to do some actual justice. So it's basically the same thing as before. All the characters go together, but that's not really an issue since that it's mostly something that this show is mostly known when it comes to certain episodes like these. As for Ice Bear and Isaac, well, if you love Ice Bear and Isaac, then you're probably going to enjoy the fact that they're going to do ice skating for some bits of this episode. Granted, I'm not a fan of ice skating, but at the same time, seeing two characters together, with one being a human and one being a bear with the same voice actor, I'm pretty sure that the voice actor really had a blast into voicing two characters, since that he does a lot more when it comes to bringing the character to life. I know I said involving the one-liners from Ice Bear was something that can easily be repetitive, but when you completely hear someone else doing the one-liners by the same voice actor, they just really know how to make these characters really good to the point that it's impossible to ignore of the fact that they're mostly fake and not really people in real life. I'm pretty sure that if any slice of life show does this, they will probably be able to get more attention when it comes to a certain character who gets a lot more attention than anything else. Granted, other characters get attention, but if you have a main attraction, you know full well to make that main attraction the main attraction. But all I can say is that with this, along with Balls in the City, they really know how to make the dynamic between a human and a bear with the same voice actor work out to its full extent. But I've already delayed this episode as it is, so let's go talk about the ending. When Panda and Tom were at the end of the balcony, they have no other way to get out. The guy was about to attack him, but not long until Griff and Grizz come to save the day. But he grabs Tom and he is about to spill the beverage on his shirt, but before he does that, Panda pushes Tom all the way while the beverage gets onto his shirt, which means that it's stained. Now he won't be able to meet Estella with a shirt, and not to mention the fact that he is completely broken in the inside. This is Panda we're talking about. You should expect him to feel this way. After watching all the other episodes centering around Panda and his relationship with the other characters, I wouldn't expect too much from a person who desperately wants to meet someone who they idolize the most. He then tips himself over after his shirt got completely ruined, which means that he won't be able to have the chance to meet Estella. But not long until Ice Bear and Isaac saves him from getting completely injured. And they managed to win at the competition at first place. Yeah. Basically, they actually won at the end, and the reason why they won is because the characters Grizz, Panda, Ice Bear, Isaac, Griff, and Tom meet Estella in person. I'm pretty sure that for anyone who remembers this episode the most is Estella, because the same voice actor who voices her is the same one who voices Garnet from Steven Universe. And considering we've only known her from the music video from More Everyone's Tube, I'm pretty sure that the We Bear Bears world can manage to make celebrities into their own celebrities in their own world. I mean, we saw Monster X, T-Pain, but instead of just seeing an actor that voices the character from Steven Universe, they just make their own version of that voice actor. And let me tell you, it's actually kind of amazing and also unique for a cartoon to do something like this. If you want to know why I review this episode over Bros of the City, it's this episode. It's mainly this. The fact that Estella is in it. And granted, I was originally going to be reviewing more Everyone's 2, but with so many changes, I had to do some scrapping to do. Anyway, Estella gives Panda and Tom limited VIP shots so that they can actually have Estella to be with Estella anywhere she goes. Granted, they don't do that much afterwards, but at the same time, they're not gonna be total stalkers at the same time since they're more loyal to Estella. She then gave Isaac and Icebell medals for winning the competition together, along with giving Grizz and Griff badges for their bravery of stopping crime in the mall. And as for the bullies, well, all she had to say was, don't be jerks. Which really sums up on the fact of what a celebrity would do if they ever talk to a jerk or a bully who just caused so much stress and problematics between the other characters. And the episode ends with Estella playing Cop Punch 2 along with Panda, who is still distracted at the fact that he managed to hang out with Estella by doing any of the activities. I wouldn't blame him. I would probably feel the same way if I was that much of a idolized person. This episode is good. A lot more better than the last 2 episodes I reviewed of this week. Well, aside from the analysis video if I'm referring to I Am Icebell, but not using ice. I really consider this episode one of my favorites from the 4th season of this show, and that is saying something when the 4th season is mostly rushed. Some of you guys are probably going to be confused, but on the other hand, there are still good episodes from this season. You can never doubt on that. The episodes that have been released in 2019 from We Bear Bears are mostly a mixed bag. Aside from so many Baby Bear episodes and the fact that there are a ton of filler episodes that are good in their own way, I'm honestly mostly ashamed that good episodes like this are one of the prime examples of Season 4 being good, but at the same time, other episodes involving characters that end the arc sooner, it's always a mixed bag. So, I give this episode a 7.5 out of 10. And as for tomorrow's episode that's going to culminate We Bear Bears month, it's going to be return of Charlie and Ranger tapes.
Let's get this started again.